Today we'll learn what HTML is and how to set it up as fast as possible. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's a standard language that basically builds the structure of every website in the internet. You use HTML to define headings, paragraphs, links, images, and so on. So basically everything you see on a website. To write HTML, all you need is a text editor and a browser. You could basically write HTML code in a regular text editor, but since that is not very efficient, I recommend a code editor which highlights, formats, and indicates errors in the code for you. I recommend installing Visual Studio Code, and in order to do so, we are just going to type Visual Studio Code in Google, and then we click on the first link. And right here, you can basically just click Download for Windows, which will get you to the download windows. Then you're going to wait until you install the entire setup. And once the installation is ready, you're basically going to click on the installer. Then you basically just accept the agreement, you click next, next, install, and then you'll wait until the installation is basically done. And once we're done, we're just going to press finish. Now we can open Visual Studio Code by typing Visual Studio Code into our search bar, for example, or you can obviously just click the shortcut on your desktop. And this will open Visual Studio Code. We can maximize it here. And now we can basically go to the desired destination by pressing File, Open Folder. Now we can, for example, navigate to the desktop, and here we can create a new folder, for example, which can have the name HTML, or the name is basically up to you. And we're going to select that folder. And as you can see, we are now inside of our folder. To create an HTML file, we can now press on the new file icon and give our file a name, like index.html. The .html ending tells the browser that this file is an HTML file, and this is really important if you want to create your websites. It's a convention that you basically always name your root file, so the entry of your website, index.html. We're now going to install two extensions that are really important if you want to work with HTML. The first one is basically called Prettier, which is a code formatter. To install extensions, you are first going to navigate to the extensions tab over here. And right here in the search bar, you can type the name of the extension, which is Prettier in our case. Then we're going to press on Prettier code formatter right here. And we're going to press install. The second extension we're going to get is the live server. Again, we're going to navigate to the live server extension and we're going to press install. Now there's one additional thing we need to do to set up Prettier, so basically our code formatter. We're going to press on File, Preferences, and right here we're going to navigate to Settings. And right here we're going to type in the search bar, we're going to type Format. And right here we can select a default formatter, and it's really important that you select Prettier from the drop-down menu. So we are going to select Prettier code formatter. And the second thing we are going to do is enable format on save. And by enabling this, the code editor will make sure that the file is formatted properly every time we basically save. And you'll see what is going on here in a second. To generate a basic template in our index.html file, we are now going to use an exclamation mark and basically press enter. And this is what the basic HTML template looks like. And now if we press Ctrl S, which basically saves our file, you can see that Prettier formatted our document. To run our website, we are now going to right-click our index.html file and press Open with Live Server. This may take a second, but now you can see we basically opened our file on a website. You could also open your website without the live server by navigating into the folder where you saved your file and double-clicking your index file, for example. We'll open it up in the browser, and you can see we also have our index.html file right here. But the difference between opening the index file manually and opening it with the live server is that the live server will make sure that every time you save your file, all of the changes will be displayed live on the website, which obviously makes development a lot easier since you don't have to reopen your website every time you make a single change. So now you know what HTML is, what it is used for, and how to set up your first project.